Good morning, everyone. Yes, very good morning. Shall we begin the session? Today's topic is the same continuity of the CF script that we have discussed in the last class on Friday. Yes, yesterday was off due to the Christmas, as you know. Yes, Joseph, I got your message regarding that. Yes, same to you. So let's begin with the continuation of the CFMX script. The first topic over here is a market research. How much time? 5 minutes. Okay, all right, take 5 minutes. Let's begin the session now. Yes. So the first topic is the market research. So whatever the dynamic applications, whatever the dynamic web pages we are implemented, that is used with the hypothetical market research on the web. That means finding over the web information regarding the market. So that will be designed by the visual arts implemented with the application examples, and that can be influenced with the selection of the users. And this question has appeared in several connections. One way to approach an answer to this question is to design a web experiment. That experiment must be implemented in an arbitrary fashion, that must be implemented to the design the question that can be approached, that can be implemented in various uses. And assume that a market research company is trying to measure the public preferences of two competing products, A and B, and this company also designs a web form. That web form has a two radio buttons, the upper for the product A and the lower for the product B, by which the visitors can express his or her preference for one of the product. And from this experience, the market research knows which order will be used, which ordering will be done on the form that may have an effect and that have a preference that may be considered to be the persistent or that may not be persistent, we can say, because two identical forms are therefore designed and one form will be used as a listing and product A will be used as a demonstration. Now other is a form 2 and has a product B listed first. So on form 1, product A, form 2, product B. And the script is designed for the random selection of the form to be displayed for each visitor. That visitor is asked to request a second form in a week. The second form is another random selection of one of the forms. And to attract the customers to a website, a lottery is then used get up for the persons completing the two forms. So whatsoever the profile they are used up, whatsoever the data they are used up, their profiling is done with the resourcing with the two forms. And no name or the addresses are required for completing the forms. And to participate in the lottery drawing, the participants must, however, send in a separate form known as a Form 3 with their name and the address. And the condition for participation that is given in the lottery is that two forms with the preferences were written. So whatsoever the address they have, whatever the preferences they have a preferences, they have a participation, they have a lottery system. Next is the application outline. Sorry. This is a figure that shows the outline of the information, what we have gathered, what we have done, what we are going to do. There is a client, there is a form cookie. Client gives a request, request form response. Then it will goes to the web server. Then it will goes to the preparation selection. After preparation selection, it will goes to the form 1, form 2, form 3. After that, it is again going back to the web server. After that, there is a form cookie, then goes to the client. Now, if that web server will be designed in such a form that it will be given with the can say the response, so that will be going to the save response and the save name. So there are two parts in this. One is the save response, one is the save name. That must be implemented, that must be used with the form request. So this profile will be done with the preparation selection that is also connected to the web server. So everything is connected to the web server. That may be a form response, that may be a request form, that may be a response. This will be connected with the client, yes. Form cookie, web server, preparation selection, request, form response, and these are displayed with the outline of the market research system. Now, how to implement that, or how to implement this? So the first step is to establish as a folder within which we will keep the application. And this application.cfm is also going to work on a web server that is installed on the platforms using the Linux or the Unix. The template must be saved in the folder. And recall that the content of this template is valid for the whole application, that is for all the templates in the same subfolder. So this subfolder will be implemented with the design, with the we can say the template criteria. And this application template for the market research application looks like this one. CF application name is a market research. Session management is yes. Session timeout is create the time span 0030. Then set client cookies, yes. CF set session path. This is a my application market research. And this also has a two tags in addition to the name comment tag. This has specifies three attributes: session management that permits the use of the session variables that have a scope comprising all the templates in the application that are limited to the session time span. And by this time span application, we are using the function create time span, days, hours, minutes, seconds. And this time span is used for the each market research session variables that is limited to the 30 inactive minutes. So if you leave for the computer for 29 minutes, it will still remember your session variables. It will again going into the session variable that will be implemented in the session.tag. However, because we ask the visitors to come back in a week, we need a technique for recognizing a client when he submits the second and the third form. So we have multiple options, we have several options that will be designed, that will be used with the application that use the cookies. And that is identification invisible for the user, which the server sends a client when responding to a client or request. So whatsoever the client they have, whatsoever the data they have, that will be used to give a response or respond to a request, and which the client, if willing, saves in a special file. And next time, whenever it is used, that will give the request to the server that issued the cookie identifier that will be attached to the server. And whatsoever the server is using or whatsoever the client is requesting out, that will be designed with the cookies. And use of these cookies also requires that the client has a browser that is able to receive the cookies, and this browser is able to retrieve the cookies also. So whatsoever the scenario, whatsoever the modified criteria, that must be identified over a period longer than a session. Then third variable or third attribute, that is the set client cookies in the CF application, will be used in the set client cookies forms that will be used with the session variables. Yeah, these are the line 5, and finally the line 6 specified in the CF set. It is used with a session variable that contains a path to a folder in which you want to store the data. So if you want to store or save the data in a subfolder, that is a market research, that again used with the session.path in the application.cfm. And in all your template, you can then use the session.path instead of the longer see my application market research, because that is a effective technique if you develop your application on one computer with a directory structure that differs from that of the web server on which the application finally will be published. So we use a criteria, we use a method for the index.cfm to prevent unwanted browsing of the folders. Okay, let's take example. This is the index.cfm. H2 font color is given as a red. Market research font will be closed. H2 will be closed. Then P, this is the market research to investigate the pattern and so on. Then next P, that is the requirements are, what are the various requirements over here. Then OL for the ordered list, LI for the listing 1, 2, 3, 4. The request, complete and submit. Then there's a linking questionnaire. So this is the line will be given as it is, request, complete and submit questionnaire 1. Questionnaire 1 has a hyperlink. When you click on that questionnaire 1, a new web page will be opened that will be done by the EHRE. The next is the request, complete and submit. EHRE questionnaire 2. Then request, complete and submit. EHRE questionnaire 3. It will be closed after you have submitted the questionnaire 2. Then OL will be closed and the LI will be closed. Then the P tag for the paragraph. The first two questionnaires requires only a single selection and click before you submit the response. And the third questionnaire asks you for the email address for the notification in case you become a lucky winner in this case, in this lottery. This market research also sets a cookie in your browser. It is a time limited and will automatically be deleted after 15 days. Now this is the output, this is the market research that will be given in the H2. Then this is a paragraph, the requirements are given in the paragraph. First is submit, request, submit and complete and submit the questionnaire 1 today. This have a hyperlink. Then questionnaire 2, questionnaire 3. And again it is given in the paragraph, the first two questionnaire you make have a click before you submit your responses. That will be given as a listing, that will be given as a HTML file that contains no CFMX tags. That shows the menu with the random form 1 and the form 2. Hello, are you able to hear me? The next part is a random selection that is able to differentiate between the form and the form 2, form 1 and the form 2. That is very much necessary, and this template prepare.cfm also contains the necessary script. This is the prepare.cfm cfset tab randomize function. This will be given as a randomize second now. Then cfset selected number, that is a rand range. Again this is the 1 2. Then selected number equals to 1. CF location URL, that is the form1.cfm. Then CF else. Yeah, this is related with the if. So if the selected number is equals to 1, so then location will be given as a URL form1.cfm. Otherwise, else CF location will be given, else will be given as a form2.cfm. Then the CF if will be closed. So one is the CF if open for the selected number, one is the CF if will be closed. And each time a pseudo random algorithm is started, that needs a speed. And if the same seed is the same, or if the seed is the same, so the sequence of the random number will also the same for all the applications. So we use a randomize in the line 2 that makes a mathematical CFMX function that instructs the server to plant an initial seed based on the internal server clock. So next function, that is the random range or the rank range, lowest and the highest, that will be given with the pseudo random criteria that will be showing the parameter between the lowest and the highest parameters values. That is in our case either 1 or the 2. So these lines represents an if else below for selecting the form to present for the visitors. And if the logical expression selected number is equals to 1 is true, so form 1 is selected by the tag, that is the CF location URL form1.cfm, and the CF location tag is very useful because it redirects the control to another template. redirects the process to the another templates, and in this line, if the condition is given is not true, the selected number is equals to 0, then it is again used for sending it to the client. So form1.cfm, form2.cfm generates a page that looks like a similar, that looks like identical. No, that is based on the criteria that makes the preferences for the product that completes and submit the form. That makes the process that makes the form type, which is I in form1.cfm and the 2 in the form2.cfm, that considered with the form 1. That makes the equal value, that makes the cf if defined or if defined cookie.user_id equals to 0. Now, that user ID is that cookie name is given as a client name, that is given as a value, that is given as a express with the now that expires with the 15. Then CF if will be closed with the H2. Now H2 has a font color that is a blue. Preferences for the product. Now this is the different one. This is a different one. Yes.